Sam's Garage, presented by Hemsaw. Sam and Doug keep making progress on the new frame for the 57 Thunderbird. They've bumped into a few snags during this project, but no problem will stand in their way. So the guys quickly come up with some new ideas and carry on.
Just when Doug and I thought we had it all done, we realized, you know what, we got to remake the whole back half. But it's a good thing we've got this table, we pushed this guy up underneath the body, and we found some mistakes, and we've realized we can't use the wider wheels. We're going to use the wider rear end, just like factory.
Yeah, and the wonderful thing is that we have everything tacked up on the frame so we can make our adjustments. Everything comes out. Wasn't exactly the way we want it, but we run into these type of things, so we'll adjust our project just a little bit.
And that spare tire did have to be cut out anyways. It just kind of looked funky back there, hanging down below right next to the fuel tank. So it's a good thing we cut that out. We'll just put you one of those pumps and cans in there like you see on all the new cars.
Oh yeah.
For when you get a flat tire.
Yeah.
But it's going to work out really good once it's all done.
It should be fantastic.
It's all about trial and error and powering through the project. That's what it's about.
And to make sure that also, good thing here, we're able to tack it up and mock and check it. And that's what we did.
Light tacks, guys. Don't make those big tacks. You have to go in there and grind it all away.
Right.
Yeah, and the light tacks, you can always bend them, move them around a little bit. Just like Ron said, make sure you guys tack it, look at it, check it. Don't put big welds, because they're a real pain to try to get off.
Ron and I mocked up the brakes and the hub onto our front suspension. We didn't put the caliper bracket or the calipers in place because we're totally not ready for them and we don't want them to get scratched up. So, but we do need the hub on there so that we can mock the wheel up on there to see exactly where it sits in the wheel well. Because at the end of the day, you can measure and measure all day. You really don't know exactly where it's going to sit in the wheel well. But when you have the wheel physically in place, you can stand back and your eyes will never lie to you, right, Ron?
Yes, sir.
And so what we also did was we were going to narrow the rear end with our new frame so that we can put some wider tires in the back. But after putting the car down onto the table, we've realized that we need to make it wide like the factory because of where the frame rails go into the body. So we have to remake the rear. Before we did the new measurements, we put the wheel in place on the front since we got the front mocked up, and we noticed that we had to push the table back about 2 inches, putting the wheel in the middle of that wheel well.
Try to go, wider with the front, or narrow with the frame to get a wider tire. But then again, we found out after we got it on the rack, like you said, it wouldn't fit. So now we gotta go back and redo the rear end.
So Joe is back in the design room cutting new pieces so that we can get the frame exactly where we need it with the arches going up for over the axle and then widen it to go underneath where the tank can go back into its place. Doug, doesn't that look good right there?
It looks fantastic.
We got a 13-inch rotor, slotted and cross-drilled, vented. We got a 4-piston caliper. With this combination, Justin said we can run an 18-inch wheel, and that's what he recommends on this Thunderbird, and I agree with him.
Yeah, I do too, Sam. And the nice thing about having the disc, it's going to stop really well. With those old drums, they work pretty good, but nothing like a disc.
Absolutely, especially when you got 4 pistons clamping onto them.
Yeah,
that's going to be really nice.
Awful nice.
Now that Joe and Ron got the rear frame rails in place, what can we do next?
Well, after that, we're going to go ahead and hang the rear end onto it. The nice thing about it is with that 4-link suspension, it's going to really take the power. That Coyote puts out a little bit of horsepower, about 425 horsepower.
We're going to make 500 with it when we're done with a little bit of tuning. And with the Moser reinforced axle, 9-inch, no problem. Put that power down with peace of mind.
Yeah, and it's going to handle fantastic.
Yep.